Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Good evening.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Melissa. How are you?
I'm great. How's it going? What are we doing?
Sorry.
What's so funny?
I stumbled upon this movie when I was looking at the library. I love going to the library in their movie sections. It harkens back to a simpler time.
Yes.
It makes me think of Blockbusters and Video Hits Pluses and whatever your local VHS/DVD.
Family video,
whatever it is. I totally had that feeling. And when I saw this on the shelf, I thought, oh my goodness, we are watching this. There's no reason not to watch this. And I have no idea how you're going to respond to this movie.
Oh.
I can't even say if it's positive or negative. I don't think it's going to be negative if I were betting. But it is like such a random movie.
Have you seen it before?
I have seen it, but I was very, very young when I saw it. I think I watched it with my dad or something. He was like, this is probably a good movie to watch. And we watched it. So.
What's it rated?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's not R. It's not R. I think it's probably, they didn't have PG-13 back. It's probably PG.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of gave you a clue on timeline right there, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You don't know what we're watching, right?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Wow. Well, things could get hairy, and it's not Harry and the Hendersons. I don't even think you know this movie exists, so I'm just going to have to tell you the title. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
It is one of the most nonsensical titles as well. It is called Any Which Way But Loose.
I have heard of this movie.
Have you?
Any Which Way But Loose, but I have no idea about it.
What?
Does it have Tom Hanks in it?
Tom Hanks.
Or
now I'm picturing the movie with Tom Hanks in
Val
it.
Kilmer?
No, I can't picture this movie.
No,
I can't.
Tom
picture
Cruise.
No. Well, I'm not going to give you the answer, but I'm now picturing all of these people in this role. So, I think you're thinking of a different movie.
What one do you think I'm thinking of?
You know what? I'm thinking of it's in the way that you use it, but I think that's just a pop song. I can't remember if that's a movie or not.
I'm definitely not thinking of that.
There's a pool game. There's a pool movie. Anyway, and not a pool you dive into, like a pool, like pool hall. Anyway. Do you know?
I'm definitely not thinking of that movie.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you think it's about, though, if you've heard of it? Like
Any Which Way But Loose. I think it's a rom-com.
A rom-com? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the plot?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you know when it's made?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Well, then we've firmly established your ignorance on the topic.
Indeed. Thank you.
I love it when you're like, oh, yeah, I know. I've heard of that. But I have zero. It just always makes me smile. Okay, so what are you looking forward to and or dreading about this movie?
Oh, Tom Hanks. I can't wait to see Tom Hanks in this movie or whoever it is.
Okay.
And I'm wondering what you're so hesitant about. So I don't know what I should be dreading, but you're like, you've had the weirdest reaction to this movie that you've ever had to one of our podcast movies.
We could talk about it more later, but I don't know why this movie was made. I genuinely don't understand it. And I don't remember a lot of the plot of it at all. I just have a couple key facts about it. And so I'm super interested in seeing this as an adult.
Cool. Okay.
Just to see what the waka is going on with it. Like, anyway. All right. So give me a movie poster and a tagline. We can get out of here.
Okay. The movie poster is whoever the star is.
Yeah.
If it's Tom Cruise, I don't know.
Or Tom Hanks.
They're like doing the twist.
They're doing the twist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you describing the Footloose poster right now?
No.
Okay. Are you describing the Risky Business poster right now?
No, which I haven't seen that.
Oh, you've never seen Risky Business?
Never. I've never seen that.
Okay. All right.
So no, they're like, it's like, they're kind of like on an angle.
Okay.
Almost like they're dancing, but like it's totally angular. They're on an angle.
Okay.
And
who's the they? It's just
the star of the movie.
Tom Cruise and who else? Or the star and who else?
Whoever the girl is. I don't know.
The girl is? Okay.
Because I think it's a romantic comedy. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And what's the tagline?
I don't know.
The title is almost like a tagline.
I know, exactly.
Which way but loose.
It was Kismet.
It was Kismet. Wow. I was not expecting that. Let's go see if it's Kismet.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's go check it out.
Raining again.
You want to do something this evening?
Of course. Well, not this evening. It's raining now. I want to get out now.
How about taking in a new movie?
Okay. What'd you have in mind?
Hey, babe, what do you think of Clint Eastwood?
Oh, I think of him a lot.
This squirrel's ripping off peanuts, ain't you, squirrel?
Can you imagine Clint Eastwood punching out a wise guy or laying out a bunch of guys who get out of line?
Well, of course I can.
Can you picture him falling hard for a sweet young thing who's got her eye on him?
Oh, sure. That's easy.
How about him fighting for money?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Can you see him allowing a woman to beat up on him?
Oh, now you're putting me on.
In my thoughts, you're always with me. Every
Well, what do you think of Clint Eastwood confiding his deepest, darkest secrets to an orangutan?
Comes to sharing my feelings with a woman, my stomach just turns to royal gelatin.
Well, what do you think now?
Now you're really kidding me.
It's no joke. It's Eastwood like you've never seen him before. In a new film called
Every which way but loose, you turn me. Every which way but loose. Inside the fire's burning me. In my mind, you just keep turning me.
There can't be too many guys driving around this valley with an ape.
Every which way but loose. Baby, there's no excuse.
Hey, you like to fight?
Oh, I used to. Better than anything. Well, almost.
Inside the fire's burning me. In my mind, you just keep turning me.
Oh, stop that, you baboon. No respect, no privacy.
Every which way but loose.
Every which way you look, there's action, adventure, and fun. Clint Eastwood will turn you
Every which way but loose.
You have me turning every which way but loose.
I can't stop singing that song.
It's
actually.
Yeah, it's been living rent free in my head for ever since seeing that. And it's one of those that's going to sit in my head for at least a week or so.
So I thought that was going to be a rom-com. How close was I?
I mean, you were kind of close.
Was it a rom-com?
Every movie we watch, okay, I like have a little category drop down in my like spreadsheet where I'm keeping track of stuff. And on this one, I stared at that list and I was like, is this an action movie? Is this an adventure movie? Is this a comedy? And I forgot about the part about the romance. Like that's the whole impetus of the whole movie is like a romantic entanglement. And so I picked comedy though. So I think it's fair to call this a rom-com.
It was billed as a comedy.
Yeah.
But when I read that after watching the movie, I was like, oh, it was a comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we were in the right place and the right frame of mind to enjoy this movie. Because the way you build it for me was like this throwing your hands up in the air. I don't know what to expect.
Yes.
So we had this really open mind watching it. And it's so absurd and quirky. And there's like the bikers, there's boxing, there's the mom.
I don't know if that's boxing. What would we even call that? Like street fighting? That's not even street fighting. I don't even know what that's called. Bare-knuckle boxing? I'm going to go with bare-knuckle boxing.
Let's do that. That sounds cool.
But they like fight. They're like up for like dirty fighting too. Like they kick and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Underground fighting. How about let's call it underground fighting.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's just, yeah. So it had a little bit of everything. You're right. And it even had like a quirky brother. You know what blows my mind about this movie too?
Wait, was that his brother? Because we couldn't figure it out.
I know.
And I read on two separate sites. One site called him his brother, and another site called him his brother/friend.
Oh, snap.
And then a third one, just said friend.
Wow.
So who was he? I don't know, but I ended up liking him a lot.
Who was Orville? And IMDb does not help because they literally say Clint Eastwood's character is Philo Beddoe, and they literally just list him as Orville. They don't put a last name on him.
I'm sticking with brother because he calls Ma.
Yeah.
They both call her Ma. And like you and I don't know. I don't do that with my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I did that with my friends'
It's
mothers.
different.
Yeah. But that's why it's, again, a split thing. Was she really their mother?
Yeah, of course she was.
I don't know.
Why would she put up with an orangutan in the shed if she was not their mother?
Who knows? Wow, we didn't even... Can you give us a quick synopsis of this one, please?
Okay, maybe. Clint Eastwood is this guy who drives a truck sometimes and sometimes works on cars. Mm-hmm. And he has an orangutan as a friend / pet.
Of course he does.
Not a brother.
No.
We know that. It's not a brother.
Sure?
Well, I don't know.
Evolutionarily speaking, maybe, but...
And he goes to the country bar. He falls for this country girl singer.
Whoa, never miss an opportunity to say honky-tonk, okay? So
I don't know.
Let's try that. I'm assuming it's a honky-tonk. I've always wanted to go to a honky-tonk, but I've never been to a honky-tonk. Just took advantage of it. Anyway.
I hope you feel better.
I do feel much better, actually.
Okay, so he falls for this girl and starts kind of like hanging out with her a lot. And she has some weird relationship things going on. But turns out she's really just playing him.
I just want to point out you used air quotes when you said relationship things going on.
I did. Doesn't that translate?
Yeah, totally.
So it turns out like she leaves town because she's...
After he gives her a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, poof.
She disappears.
She's gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He fell for her sob story.
Yeah.
And she actually had a pimp, maybe?
They never say that.
Wikipedia said it.
Yeah?
Or maybe it was IMDb. I don't know. There's a guy.
I just thought he was her sensitive friend, and they, I don't know. Anyway, his outfit was crazy. That's all I remember.
Yes, it was. So he goes after her.
Yeah, okay.
With his brother and his orangutan.
Okay.
And then he figures out she's not what he thought. He thought he was in love.
Yeah, he did.
And like he doesn't give his heart to many women. He doesn't open himself up
to anything,
to women.
Really.
But it has to be the right kind of woman. And she was a playa.
Yeah, man, he got played so hard every which way but loose.
But in the meantime, like, there's something that happens with these bikers that are coming after him and the police.
The neo-Nazi bikers, right? Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, why are they after him again? And the police, what did he do?
He's just the kind of dude who solves his problems with his fists.
That's true.
And he'll like be nice, like but he's definitely like, if you push me, I am pushing back kind of a dude. Mm-hmm. So like, he was totally like whatever with the cops and with the biker gang, but they pushed him. And so he just punched them. And then when he punches them, they get knocked out. And then he just keeps running into the bikers and knocking them flat. So then they're like, we got to take him out. And I honestly don't remember with the cops. Something happened.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he crashed something.
I think the weird part is I don't remember him like breaking the law or anything. He didn't know they were cops at the time. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he was in a bar fight.
Yeah, it was a bar fight. He didn't know they were cops, and someone like was sassing him, and he just punched him or something.
So this makes the 70s seem like a time when people enjoyed a bar fight. When they kind of like, all right, it's time and let's go. And
it's time to exercise.
It reminds me of this place in Kalamazoo that we used to go to called the Green Top.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. A lot of the bars in this place reminded me of the Green Top.
Yes.
Big time.
The tiniest beer glasses you could ever imagine. It feels like you're holding a thimble and there's a pitcher that you have with it. Yeah, totally.
But so what did you think about the movie? This was your first time seeing it, right?
No, I had seen it
seen it
as a kid, although I couldn't remember if it was this one or, spoilers, the sequel.
Yeah, I can't believe there's a sequel. First of all, we should say this was the highest grossing movie that Clint Eastwood ever made, adjusted for inflation.
That he acted in. He's made, as a director, he's made movies that have made more money.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
It's that he acted in. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
Like, this script was like shopped around Hollywood and people were like, no way, I don't want to do that.
It's so weird.
And so he's read it. Someone had passed it to him apparently, like because they wanted them to hand it off to Burt Reynolds. He was friends with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
And they thought Burt Reynolds would be good for the part. And he was like, actually, I like this. So this is the part that blows my mind too. Do you know how old he is in this film?
Clint Eastwood?
Yes.
No, I have no idea.
Take a guess.
51.
Oh. He's 40. I think he was 48 when this movie was made.
Wow.
Which I don't know what he's eating. I want to eat only that because he is like fit.
He is.
I never realized how much Clint Eastwood is like Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
Like their frames are very similar.
Yes.
And it made me imagine this entire movie like him as Wolverine.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally there with you. Or like, what if Wolverine was in this movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had to fight him. But anyway, this being the highest grossing film, he was like, I want to make it. He ends up making it. He lets Clyde, the orangutan, kind of like steal the show. So it was like this weird sweet spot. It was the number 2 box office haul of the year for 1978. And it was his biggest one. Like between that and the sequel, it's crazy how much money it made. It made like $85 million. And it was $10 million in 1978. And like,
wow.
Did you say the adjusted for inflation number? I think I looked it
I
up.
didn't say the number. I only mentioned.
Adjusted for inflation, that's $473 million. Any which way we lose $500 million adjusted for inflation. That's crazy.
And this movie is so weird.
It's so weird.
You don't even know in the beginning. I mean, if anyone were to watch this, I would say watch with like not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Because the whole introduction of the orangutan is amazing.
Yeah, it is good.
Like he's just going around, like he parks his truck.
Mm-hmm.
He's done with work for the day. He goes into the bar and he gets a beer and then he starts like stealing peanuts and putting them in his pocket. And you're kind of like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
What's that all about? But okay. I'm going with it because he looks like Hugh Jackman and let's just see where this goes.
Exactly, yeah.
And then he goes home and he goes into the shed and out of nowhere, something jumps on him, but it doesn't show you anything. And it's all done like dark and the camera's going wild and you can't see anything, but you hear noises. And he got attacked by his friend.
Yes.
Is it Clyde?
Clyde, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they come out and you're like, holy crap, this is a monkey movie.
Yes.
What is going on?
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is that it actually is not an orangutan movie. The orangutan, Clyde,
yes.
He's really not a main character.
He's not. He just is sprinkled in every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it like adds such a weird, unexpected dimension to Clint Eastwood's character.
Yeah.
Like, you normally see like he's famous for playing tough guys, which you haven't seen any of his tough guy movies. Is this your first Clint Eastwood? Like, no, you saw Unforgiven and you fell asleep. I remember that.
Okay, cool. Glad you remember
that
one.
But is this your first Clint Eastwood movie in general?
Yeah, I think so.
You never saw Gran Torino or anything like that, right?
No.
Okay. He's a good. I like him as an actor. I've seen quite a few of his films, but I can't wait to show you more of his tough guy films because it'll make this movie even weirder to you. Like, people thought he was kind of crazy for wanting to make this movie. He's like, well, I want to show people a different side of me kind of a thing, which is funny because he was still a tough guy. He just had an orangutan next to him. But it like added this weird layer to his character where you thought it actually felt oddly genuine that he was good natured at heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It made it believable that he actually was like nice.
Yeah. Like
and he felt sorry for the monkey and took him in and
he rescued him. He like won him in a fight. Like someone had him and wasn't treating him well and won him in a fight. So yeah, it's such a bizarre movie. But all I remember is the monkey. You got me doing it now. The orangutan.
Sorry.
It's okay. All I remember is Clyde, like as a kid. And to be honest, I may have seen the sequel and they're just jumbled in my mind because they were made really close together. This was such a huge hit. They just rolled and made another one.
Huh. Okay.
But all I remember is just Clyde punching people. That's about all I remember from the plot. So I very well may not have seen this one. I may have seen the sequel.
Clyde doesn't punch anyone in this movie.
Yeah. So I may have been the sequel. The only feat of strength I think he does in this one is he holds a car up, which is crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, no. Were you talking about Clint Eastwood or the orangutan?
The orangutan.
Holding the car
He
up?
holds the car up. Because
Oh,
the brother's
yeah, he
underneath
does.
and Clyde
Yeah.
holds it up and lifts it up off the cinder blocks and
Yeah.
the brother gets nervous.
Yeah.
Wow. This movie was something else. Do you actually know what the phrase "any which way but loose" means?
Okay, so I read something, but it didn't really clear it up for me.
Okay.
What do you have?
Well, I was curious as well, and I also looked it up. So I want to hear what you looked up, and then I'll tell you what I looked up.
I read, I think on IMDb, just that
Okay.
this came from a book,
Uh-huh.
and the character in the book was bragging about fighting someone in a knife fight
Uh-huh.
and like being able to fight the person but not getting cut.
Okay.
And like they fought him any which way but loose.
Yeah, that doesn't
It
doesn't explain
really,
it all.
yeah.
So it means doing everything possible except letting go or giving up. It can also imply being confused or indecisive.
Oh, that's totally what he does for that woman.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes
it totally
much more
fits.
sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the country bar culture in this movie.
It's pretty boss.
It is. It's amazing. And I feel like I know those people. Like I grew up
Yeah.
with those people. Like I really recognized
Yeah.
those people.
The facial hair, the shirts, like the outfits.
The denim,
The
yeah.
denim, yeah.
And like just I don't know, the bands just like singing
Mhm.
at the bar.
It gave me strong Blues Brothers, the original Blues Brothers vibes when they go to the country bar like location
Mhm.
and they have that chicken wire in front of it and they're like, why is there chicken wire up? And then when they play, when they're happy, they throw glasses and bottles and they break while they're playing. I was waiting for, and then when the bar fight erupted, I was like, oh, okay, it holds true.
Yeah, yeah. I like to imagine that Clint Eastwood and the orangutan like remained friends
Yeah.
after this.
I like to imagine that too.
But then we read
Then
something.
we read this sad true story. It did not end well for Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah, standards were not as good for animal care back then. And yeah, he was mistreated. And towards the end of the last film, he ended up dying from mistreatment.
That's
Yeah,
so sad.
it was very sad.
Yeah. Oh,
But
it's good to know that though.
it is totally. We found there's like nothing for like behind the scenes footage on this. Like
Mm-mm.
the Blu-ray has nothing. I couldn't find anything online, but I did find some old, like, I don't remember the millimeter film that it was shot on, but it's the kind that there's no audio.
Right.
And I'm so embarrassed I don't remember the number. Anyway, it just shows behind the scenes footage of the scene where he's driving on a vehicle, like a construction vehicle with Clyde.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing Clint Eastwood like in between takes and stuff with Clyde, like it was really sweet.
Yeah.
It was actually really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
It was neat.
There was another orangutan in this movie. I'm going to tell you a fun fact
Oh,
about
boy.
her.
Yes.
She played Clyde's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, love interest. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That was when Clint Eastwood was starting to lose it. Because
Yeah.
he was like, Clyde needs love. And then he like breaks into a zoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
For one night. So it's not even a
Yeah.
girlfriend. One night stand. So that orangutan that played that character lived in the same ape sanctuary as Michael Jackson's chimp Bubbles.
Whoa.
Yeah, and a lot of other retired Hollywood animals lived there. But like, just think of that element for your next like 6 degrees.
I was
game.
literally like, you did you see how I put my hands up to my head like Professor Xavier? I'm
Yes.
literally thinking of 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon for Bubbles the chimp right now. I'm not going to do it though. Probably.
What parts were the funniest for you?
Oddly, the one part that I don't think it was the funniest, but I liked from a filmmaking perspective a lot was the mud puddle.
The mud puddle.
There's a scene, and this is the most banal thing. I don't know why it struck me, but Clint Eastwood, he's in Colorado. He finally gets to the point, and he's lured into a back alley, basically, and then the bikers jump him.
Yes.
So he walks down this back alley thinking there's one biker, and he walks through a puddle. And I remember thinking when they show the long shot, I'm like, why is there a puddle? That's weird. There's a puddle there. And I'm like, he's not going to walk through that puddle, is he? And then he walks right through the puddle. And then as the fight ensues and he takes on like 10 guys, all those guys just keep getting thrown into the puddle. And then it just becomes slapstick mania.
Yeah.
I didn't think that part was particularly funny, But the way they shot the like foreshadowing of the puddle for some reason stuck with me, and I really enjoyed that part.
Well, they did their job.
They did their
stuck
job.
with you.
The funniest parts, though, I think the funniest part for me was probably when he hit the cop with a fish.
Yes.
That made me laugh out loud. He's like fishing shirtless. He's shirtless all the time in this movie. He's a fighter. And there's serious moments of comedy and drama in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a weird roller coaster of emotions.
Indeed.
And there's deep interpersonal relationship scars. This is such a 70s comedy because it's like so dark and yet so weird and funky. Anyway, he's fishing. He catches a fish. The cop, he gets a big one. And so he hands the thing over to the cop who pull a gun on him.
Yeah.
And then the cop's like, oh, let me have it. And he takes the reel from him. And then once he catches the fish, he's like, that's a big one. Clint Eastwood takes it and slaps him in the face with it.
And then he proceeds to put their truck in the lake.
Yes.
Before he goes.
That was a nice truck too. Yeah. He puts their truck into the lake. That's true.
Yeah.
Man, you do not push that man. You push him and he pushes back. That's really
But he never gets angry. He's just like this steely, same temperament the whole way through.
He's just like, whoop, it's time to fight now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess I gotta go take out the trash. And then he takes out the trash. And it's a totally classic move. But when they're in the diner and they send a beer over, there's the two brothers and the woman, and the bikers send a beer over to the woman. Right. And Clint Eastwood picks up the beer and looks at them and winks and then drinks the beer. Yeah. And they come over and like, that was for the lady. And whatever. And then they say, well, let's step outside. And so the brother and the lady are sitting at the table, and they don't show the fight at all, but you hear the noises and see shadows and stuff.
Yeah. And the brother's looking calm, but the woman is getting kind of nervous. Yeah. And she keeps glancing totally over nervous. Are you sure he's okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sandra Locke, that was her name. Mm-hmm. And they gave her a very country name, Lynn Hazley Taylor.
She and Clint in real life were married.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Wow. Or together. They were one of those.
I mean, I just assume every leading couple in Hollywood at some point, there's like a 90% chance the leads are going to be together at some point.
I really enjoyed the brother.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lewis as Orville.
Yeah. At first I thought, okay, he's just kind of didn't show a lot of intelligence, but he actually was street smart and intelligent and just as cool under pressure as Clint Eastwood.
He was, yeah. He was very he was the wheeling and dealing brother. He was always handling the money. Mm-hmm. He was always trying to find their next kind of score. And he was very, very, they're both super streetwise dudes. Yeah, yeah. They were just always ready for action, always ready to go. And you just couldn't stop them.
And yet their mom, who was played by who was played by Maude, who played Maude in Harold and Maude. Yeah. And also she was in Rosemary's Baby. She was. Yeah. That was
the
her
neighbor, right?
Which I think she won the Oscar for that role, I believe. Anyway.
Could you dropping some Oscar knowledge?
Maybe I dropped it. Maybe it wasn't right. I don't know.
Could where was I going?
Oh, so the brother would take her to the DMV because she wanted to get her driver's license or pass her sight test. And she kept doing it without wearing her glasses, and she couldn't pass it without her glasses. But she thought that if she wore her glasses, they wouldn't allow her to take it. Right. She thought she had to pass it without.
Which makes no sense. Were the 70s that different? They're like, you wear glasses, you can't drive a car. It's not like flying a jet.
It's total misunderstanding.
Pilots can't have glasses. They need to have perfect vision. But anyway.
So he would take her in, and he was just this obedient, taking care of his mom sort of son, and putting up with all of her. All she did was complain, basically.
Now that we've talked about Orville, what about Orville's perfect lady he finds, Beverly D'Angelo?
I was so happy for him when that happened.
Yeah.
He needed a perfect woman, and she was really great.
I love how she just whipped she's at a fruit stand on the side of the road in probably, I don't know, Arizona, whatever. They're going from LA to Colorado, so somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, hey, you want to come with us? She's like, sure.
And suddenly she's in the camper and then finds out there's an orangutan in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that old style of camping too.
Yeah.
You know, you just go somewhere, build your fire, fry your fish. I don't know. It's like so appealing to me.
Yeah, he literally went out and caught fish while they were camping and then they fried them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love how she pulls out a pistol too. And she like saves them by like shooting things. And yeah, it's really
after
wild.
a fight because they were threatening not to give him their money.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. So you didn't mention the funniest part or like your favorite part of the movie.
I loved it when the bikers, first of all, every time the bikers are on, like they are, it's their scene.
They had a horrible saxophone theme song too.
It was like this brash,
yeah,
brawny sort of saxophone jazz music, which was really ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they go after the mom because they're trying to find Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah.
And like somehow they get information and they show up and it's the mom and she like gets out a shotgun and like shoots them off of her lawn. And
yeah, she takes care of them, man.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Man, that was the most. I think they did that to establish how much of, as if they didn't through their manners, behaviors, and all the previous scenes, how much jerks the bikers were. Like tearing down her porch, like was like so unnecessary.
Oh, that made me so mad.
Yeah, I know, right?
The bikers were really the worst part, and I guess you needed that.
Yeah,
like you needed like kind of a stupid villain or whatever, but they were annoying.
You needed something, you know, like to throw. Like Wolverine, there's the movie The Wolverine, and there's ninjas. They just keep throwing ninjas at him to fight. It's just stuff you had to keep throwing at them.
Yeah, and so they kept collecting more and more bikers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think this one holds up well? You just watched this in the year 2024.
I mean, I think this is a time capsule one where you're just in the 70s.
Yeah.
But I love the absurdity of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that. Like, that was really great. It's just so bizarre. So, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Watch it. Watch it, people.
Watch it, people. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it or not because of just remembering only the part about Clyde. So I was also pleasantly surprised. I'm trying to think. There's very few 70s movies I've seen that I haven't liked. Like, I typically tend to enjoy movies from the 70s, so I always enjoy going back to that time period.
There's a certain, like, feeling that the movie brings that's just kind of this, I don't know, it's like the same feeling you get when you go on vacation. Suddenly you don't have any demands. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's the kind of, like, feeling I get from 70s movies. There's very, like, little demands on the people except for just their life. Just their everyday life. And you're kind of seeing
everything was so easy back then.
Less choice.
You did have a lot less choices, that's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Way more than I thought I would. And it doesn't make sense to say that, but I did. I
know. So what if you had your own movie where you were an underground fighter? What animal would you have with you?
Oh, wow. I've always loved big cats.
Big cats?
Yeah, like a tiger.
You want a tiger? Wow.
I kind of do.
All right. That would be a great animal to have with you in a fight. It's literally the biggest cat in the world. That would be great.
Yeah. What about you?
Sugar glider. No hesitation. Sugar glider squirrel.
Would it like just perch on your shoulder?
It would be perched on my shoulder all the time, right? And when I would go like make a certain noise, like sometimes it would kiss me, and that would be like disarming to people around me. They'd be like, "Ew, whatever," and then I could punch them. And then if I made another chitter, it would just fly and hit someone right on the face, like a pie hit you, and it would just disable them.
Yeah, because they couldn't see.
They
have a sugar glider covering their eyes.
Sugar glider, 100%.
Awesome.
So, what, if any, messages do you think were in this film, Melissa?
Get to know someone before you fall in love.
That's a good one.
Like, there were clues. And it was sus. Like, oh, by the way, I have a boyfriend, but he won't mind if we go out.
Yeah.
Like, use some wisdom there Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
You big softy.
Philo. Come on.
What about you?
Oh, this one is be born with a long reach.
He's so tall.
He is so tall and lanky. Like in the behind the scenes footage, he's like a foot or a foot and a half taller than everybody else around him.
It's amazing.
Like, especially during that time, I think everybody was a little shorter. So it's just wild. So yeah, if the longer the reach, the better the bare knuckle boxing you can do.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
This was fun.
This was fun. Well, who knows when we're going to see Any Which Way You Can.
Oh, great. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Tell us what you think of this film in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.